Welcome back, heroes out there. We searched far and wide to go and scrounge up something extremely wicked for this first round. Steven, tell the good people at home what we're working with here to the best of your ability.
Okay, so to my understanding, we are going to be watching a game between Twice One and Ragdoll One. Two of the newer-ish characters, the new era characters, if you will. And I have no idea what these decks are going to do, and I'm excited to find out.
These are two very, that's enough, unexplored territory characters, right? I've rarely seen anyone sleeve up twice, much less Ragdoll. So certainly newer for a lot of you guys' perspectives here. But these decks are going to be doing some really wild things. Namely, the Ragdoll deck is the one that we've got a very close eye on. Which let's talk about that one as they're on the play here. This Ragdoll deck, right off the bat, it's going to get crazy as we check our villainous waylay. This Ragdoll deck is absolutely heinous, Steven. This is a 55 card Ragdoll deck with 20 attacks, 4 villainous waylay, the 2 checks, and 4 rushing stab, the 1 checks. This is full gamer Ragdoll.
It's just death, beatdown, and just figure it out. Because Ragdoll has the ability to be like, oh, I can check the top card of my deck when I attack to make sure I don't ruin my strings. And sometimes when I want to get that last card to kill you, I can just grab it from my deck.
It is so genuinely funny because I've seen Ragdolls play similar things before where they play like 1 waylay or like 1 rushing stab. And they just go, okay, my first form of the game, I'll choose to go second, right? First form of the game, I'll use my character, go grab my singular rushing stab. Cool. There's no more 1 checks in my deck, but I still get to play a rushing stab type of deck, right? As long as I can just, get it in there and then recur it with things like the Ragdoll attack. I've seen, people mess around with those types. This is not what this Ragdoll is doing. Michael Nelson here is fully sending every single bad check that makes sense for us to play, but it does, oh my god,
that's a double evil gaze on a double palm shatter. Just throwing that out there.
Holy cow. So this is now a 7 mid for 4. So let's continue about Ragdoll as a character. Even though we're full sending the bad checks, Ragdoll's super sick because we just get to go search our deck for our busted check, whether we need a waylay or a rushing stab, we get to just go grab that when we feel like it, which is still like absolutely crazy stuff. On top of that, like you said as well, Steven, we get to constantly look at the top card of our deck if we're really worried about checking those 1s or 2s. So we do kind of get to circumvent that a little bit. It seems like this was, kind of like a full cheese thing, but I'm definitely seeing the territory here where Ragdoll kind of commands this somewhat unique space over bad check decks.
And here we're seeing the piercing needle coming down on the 5, checking the 2. No, sorry, checking a 3 and tapping out.
Checking the 2 due to breaker.
Oh, doy from the giant ice wall.
Yeah, but we're just still going in though. We are undeterred. We send in the double palm shatter. The double palm shatter is kind of an interesting one here. I'm kind of trying to figure out why like that attack finds its way into our deck, but it might just be because we just wanted like a solid throw in there. Amusingly enough, like of the 20 attacks, there's 5 different ones. They're all 4-ofs because we're Ragdoll, right? We want to find our pair so that we can get our +4, -4 speed. We're hanging on to double evil gazes for dear life.
Maybe double palm shatter might just be like the only way Death has to like draw cards. So like if you enhance Ragdoll, look at the top and realize it's a 1 check, you want to get it from the top, you can draw it with double palm shatter's enhance if your rival fails the check.
So they actually discard their cards for palm shatter. You mess up their hand.
Oh, wait, can Ragdoll look at the top card of their deck?
No, Ragdoll just gets to see their own deck. Yeah, no, it's interesting. They might have just wanted like a really like okay poke. That might just be the route here.
Yeah, I've never seen that card before. I was like, what?
Yeah, Death's not very very bountiful in the way of throws. So it's could just be there for that purpose and that purpose only. Going over to this Twice deck though, let's talk about this Twice deck a little. Tell me what's up with Twice here, Steven. This guy's kind of funky.
Well, he may be funky. He may be one of those character-based, characters that likes to have different copies of him in the stage for ways of damage reduction / be a way to just add stats. But this version of the deck is the water symbol, and it's not really doing, to my understanding, any Twice shenanigans other than maybe the occasional damage reduction and the occasional dreaming of the reward enhance.
Yeah, this Twice deck is interesting. It's a 64 card deck, but it only has 2 additional Twices inside of it rather than the full 4. Your
Mhm.
character and 3 more in. It's also only playing like a few finger guns, a couple do I know yous. We're really not all in on like the Twice sub theme, which like I don't know, man. If I'm playing Twice, like I want a full send it, I want Twices all day, every day. But when we have like kind of what you were saying, right? The water defense to fall back on, it's really perfectly fine.
And when you have like dreaming of the rewards, having awesome cards like Chill Uppercut, Ice Storm, Ice Slide Tackle, like we're seeing right now, being able just to be reused from our momentum just seems pretty useful as either attacks or blocks.
Yeah, 4xing Dreaming of the Reward in this Twice deck is pretty hype. Being able to keep that Ice Slide Tackle just chilling in our momentum as a mid or a high block once we find that foundation on board is extremely, extremely cool. So now we get the full Cowling Impact. This is another one of the, we talk so much about the bad checks. Let's talk about the good checks in
The
Ragdoll's deck.
regular cards.
Yeah, the peon attacks, the peasant attacks. Full count impact is one of the newer League of Villains plus Ultra cards. I think this card is really really underrated, man.
Well, it was just, I believe, turned into a mid after that tape. No, no, no. You're making your rival flip there, it looks like, for something.
No, I believe we taped it. I believe this is now the most mid full count impact of all time, so we can probably block with that Ice Storm chilling in Twice's hand.
Okay.
But then, I mean, we're going to get to, force our will to destroy a foundation, which feels absolutely fantastic. We are latent skilling now as Ragdoll. We are looking for the gasoline. Flipping in this deck is a really, really, really valuable resource, as well as latent skill being only one of our 2s, right? Because we want to be saving our face-up foundations to throw away to Ragdoll's enhances, right? We want to be mastering that top card of deck knowledge as much as we can. Latent skill and window shopping are the only 2 non-spams in this deck. Makes sense, right? We've got a million bad checks in the deck. Oh, there it is.
Oh, that was a breaker 2 check as well. So hopefully it wasn't going to be a -1 potentially.
Yeah, and we didn't even look at the top, right? With
Yeah,
Ragdoll.
because we drew the
We
2 cards with latent skill, so we didn't actually know the top card of our deck when we
Oh
were
my
making that check.
goodness. This man has no fear, Steven. This man has actually no fear.
He
Might
was
as
like,
well
I
say-
drew the 2/1 checks off the latent skill. We're gonna be fine. We're good. I'm just gonna
Oh
full
my
send.
god. That's
We're
actually
good.
probably correct. Yeah, he probably did find them off the latent and then said, well, there can't be more on top, right?
And
Can't be
honestly, I
possibly
bet you
more.
because we have the what's it called, the arrogant disposition 6 checks, it actually balances out the averages of our checks and like the UVS ultra tabs of like, actually you're pretty good on average, but I'm like, in practice maybe not.
So true. And just continuing to look at the other spams in the deck. One of the coolest things in this deck is there's 4 copies of Endenimed, and if you told me you've never heard of that card, I wouldn't even blame you. It's one of the back page cards from Heroes Clash. It's just a handy little spam that lets you crack one of your own foundations to mill the top 2 of either player's deck. So obviously, this can have really cool applications against the rival, but it's very cool in Ragdoll when you just go, let me look at the top and then is it a bad check on top? I'll go ahead and mill 2. Get it out of there. Be gone with thee.
We love it. We love it. I want to see this villainous waylay come down as like one of the first attacks that Ragdoll goes, okay, great. No more mids. Let's just throw all the mids we have. Or sorry, no more highs. Let's just throw all the lows we have or something.
Yeah, so it's finally that legendary time. It is once per game time for Ragdoll here, and it looks like we went and grabbed another rushing stab. Now I have to imagine something that might have encouraged this here was we did flip to reveal. So if we saw a bad check on top, great time to once per game, right? Let's get
Mm.
that deck shuffled. Let's get that deck shuffled up, man. I don't want that on
Especially,
top anymore.
yeah, especially if it's like a card you're like, oh, I'd rather that be in my hand. I'm just gonna draw this card and do a quick shuffle. We're good to go.
Yeah, and it is the double rushing stab. However, a poor check here is going to tell us to commit all the way out if we want to continue forth with this string, which, I mean, this is pretty likely to hit. This is pretty likely to hit. The best case scenario for Twice here could be having like a +1 mid block, checking a 5 and going on a 6. You know, it
And
could work.
and I think that'll mean that both these rushing stabs actually will go to momentum afterwards, which means the potential just to randomly draw 4 cards during an enhanced step will happen for this ragdoll, which would be crazy.
Oh, so we went for the block on a 7, hoping to check a 6, and then commit our character to pass. Sadly, is not the case, and you're 100% right, Steven. We're gonna have a whole. Ooh, man, these are.
Oh, there it is. Eject one.
Well, not that one. Not that one. He says, "You better finish me off this turn, bud, because I'm like a 9-hander now.
Yeah.
I got
With-
a lot of cards."
With my demonic tutor still up, I think. I don't think we've used the once per game on.
No, we did. We
Ragdoll
did it
yet.
on. That was how we found our second rushing stab.
Oh, okay,
that
great.
turn.
Well, now we're good. Now our second rushing stab just found us 3 more cards.
Yeah, we're chilling now. Oh, we were talking about 6-check gamers with those arrogance. Twice is also a 6-check gamer.
Love it.
Straight up banking it with the heat wave, but do we have our 6 range is the question. That cheerful uppercut is very sick in this deck, but it sure is not a ranged move. Thankfully, we've got a million of them in our deck, so we're gonna get that draw too, no matter what.
We didn't even need to mill.
Yeah. Amusingly enough, though, those cheerful uppercuts are not very sick anymore because that actually is a punch, and Ragdoll's got arrogant up now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
But
I'm
it's
really
the only
surprised?
foundation up.
Yeah. You know what I'm really surprised that we're not seeing in this Ragdoll deck is a Naval Laser Beam to unflip our foundations and get more Ragdoll ammunition. Oh, okay. Yeah, we could just roll 5s on some heat waves. Seems like a good time. we get the other text of Twice. This is gonna get +2/+2. This is like
Awesome.
a horrendously unblockable heat wave. If it mills 2 ranged attacks, it's lethal.
Plus, we're forcing the ragdoll to draw now because they probably don't have any high blocks. And even if they do, Frigid Heatwave, I think, is what, base 5 speed? You're going to need like at least a 1 and then check the 6 in your deck and then good luck.
It's got the +2/+2 though, right? From Twice, because it's our second copy. So it's a 7 speed. If we mill 2 ranged attacks off the top right now, it's lethal.
Done.
It's unblockable and it's lethal. But it looks like we just sent it.
Why didn't I guess they just didn't calculate damage, is my guess. But they's like, I take it.
Ragdoll was at 14 question mark?
Ragdoll was at 10, right?
Yeah, at the beginning of the turn, right? We were at 14 question mark.
Took
And
4
we
and then
ate
took
both heat waves.
and then took 6, so we should be at 4 at 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like they're getting to it now. Yeah, there we go. I was like, did this get negated somehow? Did we see some secret technology? Did we revoke this heat wave?
And now we got a 4 low for 7 lethal, blocking on the
We gotta check a 5? Oh, no 5 for us. Looks like we are not 5-check gamers there. Man, what a crazy turn from Ragdoll. Unfortunately, we went a little bit too hard, a little bit too fast, and it left us open to, just sending double heat wave. Like you said at the beginning of the round, Steven, just a water pile doing what a water pile does best, drawing a bunch of cards and sending real big ranged moves.
Yeah, and being able to have like that synergy of playing multiple of your big bombs a turn, tongue whips, your frigid heat waves, and then giving those stats as Twice does feel pretty strong as getting that damage that you need to actually win the game.
Yeah, that's another comment kind of related to what you just said there about this Twice deck that I was going to make earlier. Is the only attack that we're 4xing is tongue whip. The others are all 2x's or 3x, so it's actually a little tougher to get our Twice enhance off. So it's very fortunate for us to have found the double heat wave there, and it's kind of a funny juxtaposition, right? Because on the other hand, our Ragdoll deck is only 4xing moves because we also want to have 2 of the same card at some point.
Or 3 of it sometimes when it's in our hand and we can just be like +3 speed. Sorry, what is it? No, all you do is reveal 2 and then you get the +4 speed. Wow, even crazier.
Yeah, it's what makes finding 2 evil gaze crazy in this character, because you go reveal double evil gaze -4 speed, cast both evil gazes -4 speed.
Oh yeah, Good
Block
luck
with my
blocking.
other card, break 2 of your things. How does your -8 speed feel, my friend?
I'm not
What's getting there anymore?
I'm not really seeing any damage pump though in the ragdoll deck. So I'm not really seeing any like big bombs. I see a lot of ways to draw cards and create strings, but no real way just to blatantly like win.
Yeah, for a 4 villainous waylay hand destruction deck, we sure don't have a lot of ways to push that damage through once we actually do tear apart their hand, which is kind of unfortunate. We have a lot of, 4 and 5 damage moves here. Ragdoll pumps speed, and that's incredibly cool, but Tight-Lipped is pretty much the only repeatable stat pump we have. And I think if anything really keeps this Ragdoll deck from getting there, it might be that. Maybe food for thought here. Something like a brute strength could put in a ton of work in this deck.
Or like you said, the naval laser beam, just to not only be a bomb by itself, having all that natural damage, but also be able to unflip your cards so more tight lips can happen.
Yeah, more tight lips, more ragdoll uses, and then I mean, naval laser is also
Was that 5 attack
bomb.
checks on Twice just now?
That was a whole lot of them. But holy cow, our momentum is going to be a workhorse in this matchup once we start snagging some of it, because opening cheerleader and dreaming of the reward is really, really sick here. Let's talk about dreaming of the reward. We mentioned it a little bit, right? We mentioned it a little bit earlier when we were talking about like really cool momentum blocking plays, but the main power of this card isn't that response. Being able to hit with your attack and then bounce it back to hand and put something else into your card pool might not seem like you get your attack back, but you don't lose any progressive difficulty. But the important part is now when you replay that attack, you're twice. It's a free +2/+2. That is fantastic for a flip. And since it flips itself, makes sense that even as a unique foundation, we are 4xing this thing because we get to just speed through them.
Also, if you bounce a tongue whip and use it again, that's 2 free tongue whips off of just 1 tongue whip, which, that's how you kill people with anything.
Exactly. You've been away for a little while, Steven, but you do still remember the golden rule is that 2 tongue whips just wins every game ever.
And if you can turn 1 tongue whip into 2 tongue whips, that's a pretty good deal.
Yep. I don't know if you it's really funny on a very, very, very similar note. The recent Kansas City RLE, Tim Keefe's Abara Shiozaki deck was all about just playing as many tongue whips as it can, and it was even playing Agile Drop, because Agile Drop just says discard 2 cards and go get the 4th tongue whip of the turn.
Heck yeah, we love that. We love tongue whip gaming.
It's all it takes. I mean, we were Ochako enthusiasts back in the day. Every 1.3 million is 2 1.3 millions, right? 2.6 million volts. Yeah, doubling up on a lot of those moves is just super scary, but we're actually seeing the double up come from Ragdoll here. We got 2 piercing needles on board. These things are doing work. We're going to get a window shopping proc. Oh, we're going to take the free foundation. Love it. So window shopping in this deck is very, very, very cool. In the same vein that, Ragdoll gets to say, look at the top card of your deck, confirm your good or bad check. Window shopping gets to kind of do that as well, right? We get to flip. If we find a foundation on top, it can be our guaranteed 5 check. We know that's there, which is important because that also means it's not a 1 or a 2 check. Or if we do turn over a 1 or 2 check, not only do we get to get it off the top of our deck, we get to just play that bad boy right away. It's like a really awesome safety net in this deck. And most notably, Steven, window shopping is not first form, meaning if we just at any point in time go Ragdoll enhance, hey, look at that rushing stab on top of my deck, I guess when this move is finished, I'm window shopping, baby.
Also, now we got 2 piercing needles in the momentum for Ragdoll, which could be how we just randomly get 4 extra damage at any point we want during our attacks, which could help us probably kill our opponent.
Yeah, being able to putting 4 speed on piercing needle is just like, bro, it's going to the momentum. It's just a matter of how bad I want it. Is it going to be an 8 mid for 5 or is it a 10 mid for 3? Either way, I think I'm getting this momentum, buddy.
Yeah, so that's definitely why the double palm is in here. It's just the death throw that we can play that has some kind of synergy with what we want to do with making our opponent discard cards randomly sometimes.
Wow. And what we were just talking about earlier, the horror of double tongue whip without even using our dreaming of the reward, which is crazy because we could have had triple tongue whip this turn and we have another dreaming of the reward in hand, so we could build in a new one. But I think we're just on the check 5s take lives route right now.
And I think we're seeing like the one big kind of hole here for the ragdoll player is like I don't think you can enhance. Yeah, like flipping your foundations defensively just to make sure you're not going to check a bad check, and you have to like make sure that you don't flip the foundation that's going to draw you the bad check in case you have it is really tough for defense, right? Because if you check a one check on offense, oh man, my turn's over. If you check a one check on defense, you're probably dead.
Yeah, it's very very polarizing. We also saw the Force and Surrender find some really nice use there, staving off some damage by taking those face downs outside of our card pool before Tongue Whip pumped up.
Mm-hmm.
Very very nice. Ooh, is that a double waylay hand? Holy cow!
And we knew we had the double full cowling from last turn thanks to Ragdoll's reveal, so we got a lot of attacks in hand.
And we have a latent skill if we need to go even further. We've got 2 piercing needles for like essentially an extra 4 damage. I mean, Twice is only at 19. We got a cheerleader on board, though. Absolutely cannot ignore one of the most powerful defensive pieces in the game. That just says one of those waylays we don't got to deal with. We just don't have to.
But that won't stop the response timing of piercing needles. So, like, if you flash it and take it anyway, that's still 4 more damage coming your way with 2 momentum.
Yeah, and if we spin that mid block there, well, from there on out, we're taking things, right? This is almost mono mids. I'm realizing now it's 4 mid attacks and then full Cowling impact, which is something that you don't want to fully block. So you want to use a mid on it. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah, like literally, it's the most mid ragdoll deck we've ever seen, and that's what it wants to be. You're always gonna take damage because I'm gonna get rid of all your mid blocks, and thus you're eventually gonna die.
So we're opting to cheerleader this one, which is kind of interesting. Are we going to see the piercing needles? I mean, we've got to, right? Yeah, you've got to do it.
Like, we got to do it.
Makes sense. So I guess we just really didn't want to block this. Or maybe we didn't have a low. And I mean, it was going to be a 7 damage move because we have 3 cards in hand. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to deal with that too much. At the same time, though, I don't know if that 3 damage we staved off there was the worthy call on our cheerleader.
Plus, we know we have the second one, like the second full Cowling impact in hand too, and there's the one check.
No,
that's what the flash. Like that's the big. Yep, man. The fact that we couldn't ragdoll enhance is the worst part of that flash.
Yeah, never punished. Never punished.
This is the waylay, though.
This is the waylay. This is the waylay. Yeah. Now, yeah. I mean, you probably just call mid here. It's pretty clear. Oh.
Those are, I think, 2 highs and a mid, right?
Yeah. So did we call low then?
Nothing was discarded.
Huh.
Because we have the second full Cowling impact. So we're like, we want this one to guarantee hit.
Right. We're just going to roll full Cowlings then?
Yeah, this is going to be a 5 at like
to me.
8 speed.
But we've got to do some peeking now because 1-3 check is going to end this.
But 1-5 check means we probably win this because we get the poke.
This is because this is pretty not. This is.
Oh, we were at 16 health as Twice. Oh, jeez.
Well, we're at 11 now. Okay, we're getting the card out of our hand.
That was the half block, and then we failed the block. Now we're at 6. Yeah, I think full Cowling can be lethal if they can't stop it.
Yeah, because we took. Wait, are those numbers right? We were at 19 at the start of this. Then we took 8 from the full Cowling plus double needle. Now we're at 6, and the best thing that we can do is half block. Okay, we're once per gaming. We must have had a bad check on top then.
Mm-hmm. So
we could be grabbing an evil gaze here for speed.
To make the full Cowling unblockable, and I believe the full Cowling will come in at 6 damage because even though we lost that 1 card in hand by failing the block, we still have 2.
Yeah, I think so. Not unblockable though, right? It's only starting at 2. Evil Gaze can put it to 4, which we know that all we have is the Dreaming of the Reward block. So our block would be on a 7, which is failable.
But if we have 2 copies of a card as Ragdoll, we give it 4 more, right? Or no, that's once per turn. You're right.
We've already buffed up our with our double reveal. So it's going to be awkward here because we're only playing best case scenario 1 more attack. We just got to hope it's a good one on the top.
There it is.
We got a good one on the top. Now, I mean, we're just playing hey, we know that you have to check a 4 or greater to block this. So just, yeah, I'm daring you, right? We're just daring them. We know that their block is a +3 mid, and if that's not going to go through, then that's literally all she wrote. It's going to come down to what is, it's funny, right? Oh,
We got the evil gaze.
okay, we do have the evil gaze, right? Yep. So I think we did once per game for that evil gaze, so we can put them in that territory now of your blocks on a 7, you got to check well, right?
Yep.
It's all up to that top card of that deck. Ragdoll has been peeking the top the entire round, but right now this game is all up to the top of Twice's deck, and that's all she wrote.
That is a half block. It's going to be taking just 3 damage, but we do get to destroy 2 rival foundations now, thanks to the evil gaze plus full counting impact response, right?
Just one of those bad boys. We
half
blocked this. Yeah, we half blocked this. However, the target destruction, Dreaming of the Reward is probably the thing that kills us next turn for sure. Yeah, that was a pretty gutsy line there, but I think it was correct given the game state. No matter what happens if we pass turn here, we're probably just gonna get bopped. I think anything, pretty much any half decent hand that Seamus finds is gonna seriously mess us up. If we could maybe put
whoa, we have 6 checks in our deck. Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay, that was hype. That was
gamer right there. I was
reluctantly crouched at the starting line. Engines pumping in time. There was a world. There was a world there. But if Seamus doesn't find, we've got to find like at least 2 moves here. Or like one real good one. We have basic training. This can become lethal. We may not need 2 moves here.
Right, we just need 1 damage. It comes in at 5. Basic training 6.
This is very blockable though. This is the most 3 low in the world with literally nothing to stun. So I guess we feel better about the lines we took now because we were going to get bopped no matter what. We were going to get stunned out like crazy, so it didn't really matter. A new lease on life.
Whoa,
oh my God, Steven. Oh my goodness.
But 4 face downs in a dream, Ragdoll. 4 face downs in a dream.
And that block was so failable. That's the craziest part. We check a 3, that block goes nowhere. Steven, we might be seeing a game 3, my friend.
I think we've seen, of our 20 attacks, we've easily seen like 12 as Ragdoll, honestly. Like, there's like very little attacks left in that deck, I bet.
It's 20 attacks in a 55 card deck. I believe in Michael Nelson. Okay, man.
The wild child Ragdoll is coming. They're searching for that victory, but we have no enhances now. We're gonna be flying blind the whole time.
Yeah, just don't check one of the bad ones, right? That's all you got to do this turn. Alternatively, find a piercing needle and give it 12 speed.
No, give it, and then it has EX3, right? We have 5 momentum. Give it 15 more speed, yeah.
Yeah, he says I don't got the block, bud. Holy cow. That was crazy. That kind of makes sense though, right? What did you say? Twice started the game off by checking what, 4 or 5 attacks?
Yep. And then drew 6, found 1.
That is the nature of the game sometimes, my friend, and it's going to be what delivers us into a game 3. So Twice does not have a sideboard prepped for tonight, but Ragdoll does have a very interesting sideboard that we were kind of talking about earlier. I don't think we're going to see it, but give me the deets on this Ragdoll sideboard, because I just want to know more about this deck, man.
So this Ragdoll is playing on the Death Symbol, and the Death Symbol has a lot of really fun characters that can just go along with any attack package. And the one that Ragdoll has is Eraserhead. So we kind of smoke screen from the stringy, try to kill you as soon as possible, bad check Ragdoll deck into a Death Eraser with Eraserhead, Erases, Cheerful Uppercuts, Night Watches. We want to stop the opponent from doing scary stuff, and then use our powerful cards that can go to momentum, that get free speed from Eraserhead to string out and kill them.
Yeah, there are just, some characters that really, really crumble to Eraserhead. So becoming him is not a bad idea, but man, just becoming an Eraserhead deck that just
Ragdoll?
That just prays to never check the 1 of the 2. Because, listen, Steven, I played a lot of Racer in my time. I don't know how much Racer you've played in your time. If you check a 1 or a 2 as that character anytime ever, you probably die.
I fully believe we take out all 8 of the bad checks. I fully
Yeah, I
believe
mean
that.
we've got the 4 erase, the 3 night watch, and then the character, of course. We've only got 2 uppercuts in the sideboard though, so at most we're siding out 2 for 2 attacks, unless we just go for taking attacks in general out of our deck, which could be the play. 20 attacks in a 55 card deck as a Racerhead, probably a bit much, probably a little
Right.
bit heavy. Well,
And we
a
can leave
tad
the
heavy.
2 villainous waylays for fun. All of
Oh
our
yeah.
all of our foundations are 2 or less. So if we check it
Yeah.
offensively, it's no big deal. If we check it defensively, we have speed hate as a Racerhead, it's no big deal.
I love it. I love it. These decks are so wild, man. This is peak Wednesday Webcam Weekly stuff right here, my friend. This
I'm
right
sad we haven't
here.
seen any Twice shenanigans though with the damage reduction part of the effect. All we've
I
seen is the pumping of
know.
stats.
I have not seen this man build a Twice yet, which I mean, there's only 2 more in there. It's a thick, 64 card deck. I get it, but man, I'm fiending to see the character do things. We all know what a ranged water pile does. I want to see some 2 damage moves, man. Granted, we're not very keen on pumping up our moves, as you were saying earlier within this ragdoll deck. So honestly, Twice Response probably not the saving grace, the silver bullet that it could be in a deck against a deck like this. Oh my god! Right off the bat with it.
Man, it's the first attack every turn that has to be the scariest. Like I don't even think I'd want to commit if like poke turns as ragdoll, you would never do them in this deck. Like if that one that you did, the only attack you're gonna throw is the 1 check, your whole turn's over.
It's so scary, right? It's so scary, but at the same time, like you're gonna get to stun 3, and then if you've got the reveal 2, right? It's just a very very casual, freaking 8 mid with the stun 3, so it's essentially an 11 mid on turn 2. Like, buddy, that's going to the momentum. Oh, okay. So we revealed our 2 force and surrenders,
It just
got the 4 speed, and then said, I don't need these anymore.
I'm killing someone today.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Oh boy, the uppercut's coming down, but the block fails, so we don't get to do the fun shenanigans of clogging.
I cannot believe that we didn't double ice gliding that or tape for -2 speed.
Because it's already a mid.
That was too greedy. We went to block on an 8 with only 4 things up. It was so failable, and look what happened.
Gosh. If we
failed it right
this
away.
last card in hand, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna.
We did. It was another uppercut.
Oh my god! I cannot believe that we didn't use the second ice. Oh my god! We would be popping off defensively right now as Seamus if we had double ice sliding that. We would have passed the uppercut block, got another one in, and then we would have lost this uppercut no matter what. But it would have been a lot harder to continue here with that card in the card pool. Man, oh man, we are funneling damage down home now.
We are just looking for the attacks. We're just looking for the attacks. Empty hand, just get as much damage in now as we can. And then hopefully we can just randomly kill them with our throw plus piercing needle combo, because the piercing needle response can kill your opponent.
Yep. And not to mention, if we just go find a piercing needle, we have so much momentum now. EX3 it's a real big number, dude. It's a lot of EX, man.
I can't believe this deck that plays 8 bad checks in 55 cards is playing 4 attacks in 1 turn on 4 foundations. 4 foundation. That's crazy.
Look, we've like ragdoll enhanced nonstop. We just ain't found a bad one yet, man. We just ain't found a bad one yet. You know how like when Giro players kind of just like look at the top 2, see 2 5s on top of their rivals deck, or see 2 3s on top of theirs with like no destin, and they're just like, yeah, I guess that's just my life now. It's like the opposite end of that for ragdoll. We're just finding a 5 on top every time and then going, huh? Yeah,
neat.
Okay. Why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I play the 4th attack?
If you're Twice, you gotta go, all right, this has to be the turn. If we drew the attacks, we gotta throw them and we gotta win.
21 is not impossible, but man, we just went through so many attacks. We're gonna get to commit down the whole board, but man, oh man, oh man. Starting off with a 3 check on top, checking an attack. We lost 2 uppercuts through the blocks. If we find the moves, we find the moves, but it might come down to some clutch heat wave mills here, and we are drawing cards. Looking for the evil gaze. Found the evil gaze. I was gonna say that is the only thing that makes this like guaranteed blockable, is if we find the almighty evil gaze here.
No, I think we straight up just breaker blocked it. No? Oh, no. We're removing it minus speed and then going for the struggling with studies. Got it.
And then we're going to fail it because we checked the 1.
Yeah. Yep. Why not
Holy
just like
cow.
breaker block the ice wall? Why not just do that?
Yeah, it would have been on a 4. It would have just been a half. But I think that like we're only getting to block one thing anyway, right? Because we're committed out. Casting the evil gaze makes sure that even if we check bad, and when I say check bad, I mean a 3, not a 1. We still get to pass the block, right? Because otherwise, the block is on the block with the struggling. We just want to get the full block off. I think that was the correct line there. We go for the full block plus break one of your foundations, just to try and really, really send it home. Now we're cruising. We found the second tongue whip.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
like we
for
said,
9 damage, right?
Tongue whip into tongue whip kills everyone, right? Well, our character says when we play our second tongue whip +2
They're mega
+2,
dead.
and that's just all we need sometimes, man. Just a whole lot of tongue whips and the ability to put speed on them. Again, it's like the air and chaos decks that can loop 1.3. If they also have the ability to put speed on them, it's heinous. It's absolutely heinous. Did that leave our rival at 1?
I think it was 9 damage, but that's
It was
1
8.
though. The Cardinal
Right,
Sin.
it was 8, right? Because 4 base +2 from twice +2 for 2 cards in the pool. Yeah, left our rival at 1. We have committed the ultimate sin. It is time for Michael Nelson's anime powered up, man. Coming back in full force. I see the Russian stab. I see the Russian stab in his hand.
But also, if we just play our double palm shatter, it'll do 6 thanks to the piercing needles. So that's not enough. So yeah, we need something that can deal 3 damage, and then it's over.
So piercing needle needs an unblocked attack to hit.
An unblocked attack. Oh,
so
okay,
we can't cheese it with our throws.
Well,
that would make sense though if we could. Then that would explain to me why double palm is in here.
But hey, stun 3 plus 8 mid is good enough as well.
Yeah,
it may as well be a throw.
Stun 3, I think, is gonna finish this nonetheless. Every attack is basically lethal right now because they have +4 damage because of the 2 needles in our momentum. So even if I guess we could if we can actually get the zone is pretty much irrelevant at this point. That block was on a 6, only a half though. We're not gonna get to needle proc. We're alive at 4, which is an irrelevant number because anything is killing us.
And
this is
3 check on a 5.
This is not unblockable. This is a very 3 speed attack.
Yep, and we already used the once per turn.
Oh my god, I got bated breath right now. It's coming in with -1 because the ice gliding.
We passed the check.
we passed the check for the palm shadow. So we don't have to discard our hand here. We're gonna go.
We have blocked it again.
Here. Yeah, it was super blockable. 2 speed is 2 speed, man. Okay. Yeah, we just won for game for another attack now. And then how many foundations do we have? We have 3 foundations up, and our character. So
3 foundations up, 4 diff.
We just have to not check a 1.
We can check a 2.
We can check a 2.
I think all the 1 checks are gone. We have 2 in the momentum. Sorry, 1 in the momentum, 1 on board. I think we checked 1 earlier, so there might be 1 left. We just I thought we formatted the 1 check.
Okay, no, we're good. We're good. Yeah, no.
We're chilling. We're chilling.
Yeah, I think actually if there was a 1 check left there, you just form it, right?
Exactly. And then you play it as the last attack because it's a 4 diff.
Yeah, and then it's not in your deck, so you can't check it. And then you have no check that can lose you the game that turn. That makes total sense. Yeah, that makes 100%. So there must have just not been any left. So we just went with the attack that deals 2 damage no matter what. While our rival was at 2 health.
With no cards in hand. Yeah. Just throw it. Just be like, I had it anyway, but I was making sure I'm not checking bad on this one.
Holy cow. What a crazy round, Steven. Oh my goodness. That was
I learned a lot. I saw some gamer moves being made, and it was awesome.
We did not teach you a darn thing about the meta in the last hour, Steven, but I wouldn't have it any other way. We'll get to that stuff later. We can talk about 4th kind later. This right here, this is peak.
Of all the once per games that I know about, the 4th kind is definitely one that I am all too familiar with.
Nope, buddy. It's all about search your deck for a card now, boys.
It's all about a demonic tutor in My Hero Academia. We love it.
Crazy daisy, dude. Well, that was definitely a great one to start the night off with. hopefully the rest of the rounds can keep up that pace and that energy. But in the meantime, Steven and I are going to bounce for a little while and let the rest of those games finish out so that round two can happen. But we're not going to leave you guys empty handed. We've actually got something really, really, really cool to showcase you guys in these between games. If you remember a little thing called the Kansas City Regional License Exam, you might have seen Mr. Brian and I running around quite a bit getting some awesome footage of all of you guys at the event, and we're going to show it to you tonight. Yes, we've got an awesome little recap video of the whole event cooked up for y'all, premiering right here, right now. So while Steven and I go rest our beautiful voices, I will let y'all enjoy that. Thanks so much. We'll be back soon, heroes.